How much does KFC actually make in South Africa? South Africans spend more money at KFC than at any other fast food chain in the country, more than McDonald's, more than every other chicken shop combined. So, how much is that actually worth? Pick a number in your head. Whatever you guessed, you're probably wrong. Not because it's too small, but because almost none of the money you spend at KFC actually goes to KFC. That's the whole video. And by the end, you'll know how to estimate any private company's earnings using nothing but Google and a calculator. Start with the size of the thing. KFC has over 1,200 stores in South Africa, more than Debonairs, Steers, Wimpy, and McDonald's put together. But here's the detail that matters. KFC barely owns any of them. About 90% belong to franchisees, regular people who paid millions of rand for the right to fry chicken under that name. KFC itself runs only 1 in 10. Hold on to that number, 90-10, because everything else builds on it. Here's how you estimate a company's revenue when it won't tell you. Start with one store. The average South African KFC does somewhere between 1 million rand and 1.5 million rand a month. Take the conservative number, 1 million rand, and that's 12 million rand a year per store. Multiply that by 1,200 stores, and you get 14.4 billion rand a year. Push it to 1.5 million rand a month, and it's 21.6 billion rand. So somewhere between 14 and 22 billion rand is moving through KFC tills every year. Now let's check that a completely different way. South Africa's whole fast food industry is worth around 90 billion rand a year, and KFC holds roughly 25% of it. That's 90 billion rand times 25%, which is 22.5 billion rand. Two totally different methods, one built store by store, one built from market share, and they land in almost exactly the same place. That's not luck, that's confirmation. South Africans spend around 20 billion rand a year at KFC. Here's where it flips. That 20 billion rand isn't KFC's money because 90% of those stores are franchised, which means 90% of that 20 billion rand legally belongs to the franchisee, not KFC. Think of KFC as a landlord. It doesn't get to keep your grocery money just because you live in its building. It gets rent. In franchising, that rent is called a royalty, typically 5% to 8% of a store's turnover, paid monthly for the use of the name, the recipe, and the system. Run the numbers. 20 billion times 90% is 18 billion in franchise sales. At a 6% royalty, that's 1.08 billion landing with KFC, 1 billion out of 18. The other 10%, the stores KFC owns outright, work differently because there it keeps the full profit margin, not just a cut. That's 2 billion rand in sales. And at a 12% margin, roughly 240 million rand. Add it up. About 1.3 billion rand a year is what KFC actually keeps. South Africans spend 20 billion rand buying chicken with that logo on it. KFC walks away with 1.3 billion rand. 90-something cents of every rand never touches KFC. It stays with the person who owns your local branch. And that's not a flaw, it's the entire business model. Build a brand strong enough that other people pay you for the privilege of doing all the hard work. If you want me to run the same playbook on another brand, tell me in the comments. And yeah, writing this made me hungry.